Welcome back, guys. I'm IssacD.Coleman, and today I'm going to teach you how to determine your body type and how to fuel it properly based upon the food that you feed it. Now, this pertains to you as an individual. Now, due to the holiday season, I know that you all have been eating extremely healthy, so you really don't need me to make this video, right? I'll be honest. Food can taste great, as it should, but you need to realize that it is only a fuel source. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into it. How to determine your body type. A comprehensive guide to food is fuel. We're going to take a look at all of the major somatotypes. Now, if you are determined to be an ectomorph, you will see why you have a naturally lower body fat composition than the other two here. If you're determined to be a mesomorph, you'll see why you have an intermediate body fat composition naturally. Now, if you're my friend over here, the endomorph, then you will see why you naturally have a higher body fat composition than the other two, and why you may struggle to lose weight. But don't worry, we're going to delve right into that and take care of that problem for you. Now, if your goal is to lose weight, which most of my viewers that have requested me to make this video, you fall into this category and you need to pay close attention to this particular section. So, we're going to dive into the physiology of the ectomorphs, the physiology of the mesomorphs, the physiology of the endomorphs. We're going to look at some specific anatomical somatotypes. We're going to see a few images of my personal food plates. We're going to look at depictions of how I eat clean to stay lean all year round. And we're going to also see a website for all natural herbal products. And I've included the bibliography with references here at the end. So there are three main somatotypes or body types. So what is a somatotype? A somatotype is a certain body type or build based on characteristics. The three main categories are the ectomorph, the mesomorph, and the endomorph. Now, as a general rule, you need to be in a caloric surplus if your goal is to gain weight. Another way to say that is consume more calories than you actually burn. Now, you need to be in a caloric deficit if your goal is to lose weight, or consume less calories upon regular intake, or burn more calories than you store. So taking a look at figure 1 here, you can probably look and tell your individual body type if you are more of a visual learner. Now, anytime I'm presented with a biological or physiological issue, I always like to delve into the cellular makeup of that problem. So, if you are an ectomorph, it is a body type or structure characterized by linearity and leanness, developed by the relative dominance of tissues derived from the ectoderm, the outermost of the 3 cell layers of the embryo. A person having this body type has a general features of being any of the following: slim, skinny, slender, and or thin. So let's look at ectomorphic analysis. Ectomorphs derive their physical characteristics in utero from the outermost section of the 3 cell layers of the embryo, that is the ectoderm. This gives rise to the skin, hair, and nervous system. So you can probably see why you will become an ectomorph here as an embryo. Now, the ectomorph cellular composition makes them naturally thin and lean and predispose them to a highly active catabolic metabolism. So this is why they are usually harder for them to actually gain weight. Now, some of the desirable traits is they carry less body fat and hard to gain body fat, slightly muscular, and they respond well to cardiovascular training. that is speed, endurance, and agility. Now, some of the less desirable traits. They're hard to gain weight. That is size and muscle. This is why they're often called the hard gainers. So if you fall into this particular category, you see why it is hard for you to gain weight. It is at your cellular level. Now, let's look at some of the ectomorphic fuel sources. If you are determined to be an ectomorph, the types of food that you consume shall be paramount for your goals. If you want to stay the same, then make no drastic changes to your current routine. However, if you are trying to gain weight, then you will need to increase your complex carbohydrates, lean protein, and moderate your healthy fat consumption. Those are your macronutrients. Now, always include fibrous carbohydrates, that is herbs, fruits, and or vegetables in every meal. Those are your micronutrients. Moreover, you will need to increase your overall calorie intake daily, but I urge you to keep it clean as possible if you're undergoing a bulk phase. Some more ectomorphic fuel sources. Food is fuel. Complex carbohydrates, you will need a high amount of this. I got a few examples here for you, but you are not limited to just these. These are some of my favorites that I use for myself and clients. The sweet potato, a bodybuilder's best friend. So if you are an ectomorph, you will definitely want to start eating some sweet potatoes if you are able to do so. Pastas and noodles. You have some bow tie pastas here, some spaghetti noodles, some rotini pasta noodles. You can also include things like rice noodles and clear noodles. Now, try to get whole grain if possible. Now, we have whole grains and oats, such as our brown rice, our quinoa, our amaranth, and our oats. We also have our oats here. So oats are a great way to put in some complex carbohydrates, but they also add a good deal of fiber. And if you're an ectomorph, then white rice is definitely okay for you to add into your diet. It serves as both a complex and as a simple carb. So definitely don't overdo it. But again, if you're looking to gain weight as an ectomorph, then look no further. Now, I always ask, use organic foods whenever possible, no matter what you're eating. So for your high quality lean protein, you will definitely want a high amount of this. Some of the choices that I like: salmon. Always use wild caught over farm raised whenever possible. We also have tilapia. Again, use wild caught over farm raised if possible. Grilled chicken breast. Use antibiotic free, hormone free whenever possible. And we have our eggs. Here, always use free range or cage free. And again, always use organic foods when possible. Let's take a look at our healthy fats. As an ectomorph, you're going to want to moderate this. Don't overdo it, but moderate it a little bit. So we have our avocado or guacamole. Okay? It's a great source for you as a healthy fat. Also has a great deal of fiber and a little bit of protein. Healthy oils such as olive oil, hemp seed oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, which is another derivative of coconut oil. These are great unsaturated fats that you will definitely need in your diet. Real butter. Now, considering salted versus unsalted. And I did say real butter because you don't want to use that margarine. Okay, you're basically consuming plastic in such a scenario. Now, salted is okay if you're doing it in moderation as an ectomorph, But if you have, obviously, if you have high blood pressure or hypertension, then you definitely want to go unsalted. If your doctor has advised you to slack off on sodium, you definitely want to go unsalted. All right. Now let's take a look at some of our seeds over here. We have hemp, chia, and flax. And these are great high quality plant-based fats. You cannot go wrong with these. And again, always use organic when possible. Now, let's take a look at your fibrous carbohydrates. No matter what body type you fall into, you're going to always want to have a relatively high amount of fibrous carbohydrates. Why? Because everybody needs them, okay? Now, some of my choices here are fresh herbs, curly parsley, cilantro, turmeric root, and ginger root. Now, you can buy them in their powder forms. You can buy them in their dried forms. You can buy them in their fresh forms, which is what I prefer. But as long as you're getting them in, you cannot go wrong. Fresh vegetables. Some of my favorites is spinach and kale and cruciferous vegetables. Fresh fruits such as bananas, grapes, oranges, apples, kiwis, strawberries, cherries, and berries offer you a great amount of fibrous carbohydrates, and they have so many other great benefits that I will be going over on future videos. Please wash your produce thoroughly upon buying them from the market or the store. And again, always use organic foods when possible. Now, if you are determined to be a mesomorph, you have a slightly different approach than the ectomorph. So, looking at it at the cellular level, the mesomorph is a general muscular body type, structure developed by the relative dominance of tissues derived from that of the mesoderm, which is the middle of the 3 cell layers of the embryo. A person having this body type structure is an intermediate between the 2 opposing body types. That is the ectomorph and the endomorph. A mesomorphic person is usually characterized as having lean, sturdy muscle, stable strength, and the ability to lose or gain weight with relative ease. The mesomorphs derive their physical characteristics in utero from the middle section of the 3 layers of the embryo. That is the mesoderm, which is the precursor of mesenchymal tissues, including connective tissues and hematopoietic system. Now, mesomorph cellular composition makes them naturally lean and strong and predispose them to a moderately active catabolic metabolism. Now, some of the desirable traits is, if you're a mesomorph, you carry less body fat than endomorphs, yet more muscular than the ectomorph. Very muscular and usually respond well to cardiovascular exercises such as speed, endurance, and agility, or resistance training, such as weightlifting. Now, some of the less desirable traits. Sometimes it is hard to gain excess weight and hard to become very thin because you're technically right there in the middle. Now, some of the mesomorphic fuel source approach. If you are determined to be a mesomorph, the types of food that you consume shall be paramount for your goals. If you want to stay the same, then again, make no drastic changes to your current routine. However, if you are trying to gain weight, you will need to increase your complex carbohydrates, lean protein, and moderate your healthy fat consumption or your macronutrients. Always include fibrous carbohydrates, that is herbs, fruits, and or vegetables in every meal. Those are your micronutrients. Now, moreover, you will need to increase your overall calorie intake daily if your goal is to gain weight as a mesomorph. But I urge you to keep it clean as possible while undergoing any bulk phase. Now, to lose weight, decrease your complex carbohydrates. and alternate between decreasing and moderating your healthy fat consumption. Now, your lean protein and fibrous carbohydrates should remain relatively high. So, we're going to have the same figures for the mesomorphic fuel sources. Food is fuel. However, you will have a slightly different approach. So, for your complex carbohydrates, you are going to want to have, you're going to want to have a medium amount thereof. A medium amount. And again, sweet potatoes, pastas and noodles, whole grains and oats, white rice. These are some of my favorite choices that works great for me. And it has worked great for many of my clients. Now, as always, use organic foods when possible. So for your high quality lean protein, again, you are going to want a high amount thereof. So for your salmon and your tilapia, again, use wild caught over farm raised for your fish. Now, grilled chicken. Mostly grilled chicken breast because it's more lean. Again, use antibiotic free or hormone free. And for your eggs, use free range or cage free. Generally, you'll know if it is free range or cage free because they'll usually be brown in color rather than white. And again, always use organic when possible. Give me 1 second. All right, mesomorphic fuel sources continue. For your healthy fats, you're going to want a moderate amount. So what does this mean? So you don't want to have as much as you would if you were an ectomorph trying to gain weight. But you will definitely want to include a little bit at a majority of your meals. Maybe not all your meals, but in a majority of your meals, you're going to want some of these healthy fats. Again, it's avocado or guacamole. Your healthy oils, your real butter. Again, consider your salted versus unsalted. You may want to consult with your doctor upon that. Your seeds, your nuts. Always use organic when possible. Your fibrous carbohydrates, again, you're going to keep those high, okay? You're going to see a recurring theme here. You're going to want to keep those fibrous carbohydrates high. I don't care what body type you fall into. And again, my choices here are some of these fresh herbs, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. Please wash your produce thoroughly when getting them from the market or the store. And again, always use organic when possible. Now, if you are my endomorphic friend over here that has trouble losing weight, pay close attention, okay? So here is where your problem started in utero at the cellular level. The endomorph is a body type structure characterized by soft roundness, massive digestive viscera, that is, internal organs, especially the digestive system, and often a comparatively weak muscle and bone structure. That's general. That's not always. And it is developed by the dominance of tissues derived from the endoderm, which is the innermost of the 3 cell layers of the embryo. A person having this body type structure is characterized by storage of stubborn body fat, both visceral and subcutaneous. So if this sounds like you, then you'll see how we're going to attack this problem through your nutrition. The endomorphic people usually gain excess weight relatively easy, but struggle to lose weight adequately. With endomorphic analysis, endomorphs derive their physical characteristics in utero from the innermost section of the 3 layers of the embryo. That is the endoderm, which is the precursor of the gastrointestinal tract. and associated tissues, including lungs and the pancreas. Endomorphs' cellular composition makes them naturally large and bulky and predisposes them to a less active or slower catabolic metabolism. So you're seeing here, this is why you may be struggling to lose weight. Some of the desirable traits, though, however, if desired, can gain weight easy. Muscle or body fat, somewhat muscular, and respond very well to resistance training. However, some of the less desirable traits include hard to lose weight, visceral and subcutaneous fat storages. They are just stubborn if you are an endomorph. But let's see what we're going to do about that. So the endomorphic fuel. So if you are determined to be an endomorph, the types of food that you consume obviously shall be very paramount for your goals. If you want to stay the same, then make no drastic changes to your diet or current routine. However, if you are trying to lose weight, then you will need to decrease your complex carbohydrates. You will need to increase your lean protein and increase your healthy fat consumption. Be sure to decrease that complex carbohydrate. Those are your macronutrients, and always include fibrous carbohydrates such as herbs, fruits, and or vegetables at every meal, and those are your micronutrients. Ideally, you will need to decrease your daily overall calorie intake, and you must keep it clean as possible while transforming your body as an endomorph. Okay, unfortunately, this rule applies to you more so than any of the other two. So, again, same food figures here as the other two, but again, your approach is going to be quite different. So for your complex carbohydrates, you are definitely going to want a low amount of this for every meal and every day, every week, until your goal is maintained. But I will tell you, whatever you do to obtain your goal, you will also need to do that to maintain your goal. So for sweet potatoes, that's fine. Again, all of these are going to be in low amounts for you. And always use organic foods when possible. So for endomorphic fuel sources, food is fuel. Your high quality lean protein is going to be very, very, very important for you. You're still going to want to keep this at a high amount. All right. Again, some of my choices here is the salmon and the tilapia. All right. I cannot stress enough, use wild caught over farm raised when possible. And for your grilled chicken, use antibiotic free and hormone free for any chicken that you eat, whether it's grilled chicken breast or not, when possible. And for your eggs, free range and or cage free. And always use organic foods when possible. Again, you're going to see some recurring themes here because I cannot stress the importance enough. I want you to get this. For those who are just tuning in, they may not have heard it, and they need to hear these important details. So, if you are an endomorph, your fuel source of healthy fats will need to be relatively high in amount. So, if you don't like some of this stuff, you're going to have to try to find a healthy fat source that you can enjoy. Because if you're not enjoying your diet, if you're not enjoying your nutrition, if you're not enjoying your training, you're not going to be able to stick to it, right? So, you are definitely going to want to consider the avocado, these healthy oils, the real butter, and these seeds. Okay, I don't have the nuts up here, but nuts, tree nuts, ground nuts are also a great source of healthy fats. Don't worry, I'll be making a video in detail about those at a later date. And again, always use organic foods when possible. So, for your fibrous carbohydrates, and as an endomorph, you're still going to want to keep yours also quite high in amount. And again, my recommended sources are fresh herbs, such as these here in figure 14, fresh vegetables, as seen here in figure 15. Fresh fruits as seen in figure 17. Now, again, please wash your produce thoroughly. And if you're just tuning in, always use organic foods when possible. So, over here on figure 18, we're going to see some of the varying somatotype body types for more specific understanding. So, what is going on over here? We take a look at legend 1. These are varying somatotypes. If you have gone through this presentation thus far and you say, I do not fit perfectly into one of those 3 categories, that's fine, don't worry. Generally speaking, most people will fit into one of those categories. However, there are variances, and these variances will be described here. The varying somatotype body types depicted here in figure 18 show 7 different interrelated body types, male and female. For a more lucid understanding of specific somatotypes, moreover, this diagram serves as an approach to help you further identify your individual category. So we have the general ectomorph right here, right? Thin, slim, slender. However, you may fall more towards the side of an ectomesomorph. So what is that? So that is going to be someone who is predominantly a mesomorph, but you have a bit of the ectomorphic build to you as well. Then you have an individual that is a mesoectomorph. So you may be more or less an ectomorph, but you have tendencies of the mesomorph already predisposed to you. And then we have the general mesomorph, which we've already covered in detail, which is the person that falls right smack dab in the middle of the ectomorph and the endomorph. Then if you are determined to be a meso-endomorph, you are a person who is more or less an endomorph, but you favor more of the meso side than you do of the endomorph. And similarly, the endomesomorph. So you may be more of a mesomorph, however, you have tendencies where you favor that endomorph more because let's say you may gain weight easier than what you would like to do. So you'll see why you have these differences. And then this is also the same for the diagram down here depicting the females. So I have been asked several times, what do I eat? What do I eat? Well, here are some of my personal favorite plates right here. All right. So nutritious is delicious, guys. It really is, because I enjoy what I eat. I actually look forward to these types of meals. They're healthy, they're clean, and I truly enjoy them. And I make my food taste great with herbs and spices. Just because you're eating healthy doesn't mean it doesn't have to taste good. Without the salt, without the sugar, I guarantee you, if you use enough spices and herbs, your food will taste great. Hence, hashtag nutritious is delicious. So, here's one of my plates with spicy guacamole. I've got baked spicy tilapia with jalapeno peppers right here. I've got steamed sweet peas. I have my famous cinnamon honey butter sweet potatoes right here. And my tilapia is on a bed of spinach and kale. Here is my baked salmon with real butter, cinnamon, and honey. Here is my baked tilapia with fresh lemon, parsley, cilantro, and olive oil. Here's another plate for you. I've got baked spicy salmon with jalapenos right here. And I have scrambled eggs, which is more like a scrambled omelet, with spicy salsa, black bean and corn salsa, hot ghost pepper salsa, and pico de gallo. And again, I have my famous cinnamon honey butter sweet potatoes right here. And spicy guacamole right here. Sauteed spinach and kale in olive oil right here. And steamed Brussels sprouts right here. As you can see, I live by what I teach. I believe in getting in my healthy fats, my lean protein, my fibrous carbohydrates, and my complex carbohydrates. Here's another few examples right here of some of my favorite personal plates. We have a stir fry, which is a chicken and vegetable stir fry over here. Right here, this is some of the herbs and vegetables that I use inside of my post-workout smoothie. We've got various things. We got some lemon, we've got some spinach and kale, we've got turmeric root, we've got ginger root, we've got garlic, we've got cucumber, we've got zucchini. There's our ginger root right there, just to name a few. So I believe in getting in my herbs and my vegetables. I try to eat them as much as possible throughout the day, and I definitely believe in getting them in my post-workout meal or post-workout smoothie. So we've got an example of one of my spicy chicken salad variations here. We've got chicken, spinach, kale, arugula, carrots, cabbage, almonds, croutons, and olive oil. And we can see the differences right here. So this is how I eat clean to stay lean year round. 365, 24/7, 366 days on a leap year. So this is the approach that I take, okay? It works great for me. I determine how to eat for myself to get myself as lean as possible. And if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get lean, then it will start at your nutrition. For a great source of all natural herbal products, please visit www.rawmealherbs.com. I have been using the Mental Powerful formula from his site, and let me tell you, it is great. If you need a boost in energy, if you need mental focus, if you need more concentration, these are some of the things that it has done for me thus far. And I've only been using it for about a week. So I can only imagine how I would feel another week from now and another week from now. So please visit rawmealherbs.com and check out his list of different herbal formulas. They're all natural and organic. So I will leave a link for you at the end for all of the references here, the bibliography, so I don't have to go through this now. And if you want to look at some more of the research, if you have any questions, any concerns, you can look it up for yourself. You can also leave me an email. You can leave a comment down in the comment section if you're catching this on the replay. If you're watching it right now live, then please ask me any questions that you have. And this is the link that you can visit in order to get access to this bibliography with complete references, but I'll also leave it down in the description section as well. And if you hadn't already done so, guys, please go ahead and subscribe to me and turn on that notification bell icon so that you don't miss another video from The Reality of Fitness. We got some great content coming for you. And please follow me on Instagram at the.reality.of.fitness. You can also like and follow me on Facebook at The Reality of Fitness LLC. And remember, together, we're going to put the reality back in fitness. Thanks for watching.